have so many prophetic words. We've had things spoken over our life. And because they did not come to pass when we thought they should come to pass, then we get discouraged, we get depressed, and we even sometimes blame God. God, what happened? Why in the world? You said that this was going to happen for me. You told me that I could have X, Y, and Z. But God, I'm still in the same place. And God is saying you're still in the same place because you refuse to do what's necessary to move forward. And you are too comfortable in the place where you're at right now. I'm trying to get you to let go, but you keep holding on. I'm trying to get you to move forward, but you keep stepping back. I'm trying to get you to trust me, even when you can't trace me. I want you to trust me even when you can't find me. I need you to trust me even when you can't see me. I need you to trust me even when you can't feel me. There are times when we have even told God, and I said it before in my lifetime, I said, God, I don't need to hear another prophetic word until you bring to pass the word that you already spoke over my life. I don't want to hear from another prophet. I don't want nobody else coming up to me telling me what thus saith the Lord. And he spoke to me. He said, you better be careful. You better be careful, son, because what you have just done was hush the mouth of God from speaking over your life. And that's a dangerous place to be. When God stops speaking to you, you better get worried. And you have now presented yourself as Jezebel to God, because now you're trying to hush his mouth, and you're trying to hush the mouth of the prophets and the people of God from speaking over your life. Now you have presented yourself an obstacle before the Lord. And how many know that God fights against other gods? And you'll find yourself in competition with him even though you can't even compete. You'll find yourself standing before God as an enemy because you're trying to shut his mouth from speaking over your life, because you refuse to step out on faith to do what he told you to do to move forward. Now you're blaming God, and now you're trying to hush him up. The devil is a liar. And you better be careful not to present yourself as Jezebel to God. You better be careful how you present yourself when you come in his presence. You better be careful what you say about the people of God that speak over your life. You better be careful how you receive the word of God from the man and woman of God. For they are the watchmen over your soul. You better be careful how you handle the people of God. God is trying to challenge your faith. He's trying to pull you out of a normal situation. He's trying to take you out of an ordinary situation so that he can bring you to an extraordinary season. But because you are afraid of what's going to happen or what's not going to happen, you decide to stay ordinary. And we are blood-washed believers. How many know that we are not ordinary people? Anybody ever been through some extraordinary things, some unusual attacks, some devastating obstacles? That ought to tell you right there, there's nothing normal about you. For when the hand of the Lord is upon your life, you're going to experience some unusual attacks from the enemy. You're going to experience some unusual activity from the demonic camp. You're going to go through some things that you never thought you would go through before in your life. And you're going to have faith in God enough to know that he's able to bring me out. You're going to have enough faith in God to know that if he did it back then, he can do it for me now. You're going to have enough faith in God to know that if he delivered me once before, he's able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask or think. It's according to the power that worketh in me. He said, tell the people this. He said, tell them to ask me for something that's completely out of their control. What? A lot of times we're afraid to ask for things because we are control freaks. If we can't control it, if we can't be in charge of it, we don't want nothing to do with it. Why do you always have to be in control when you are in a controlled environment? You don't even belong to yourself, you belong to God. So why are you trying to be in control? Why are you trying to handle something and it ain't none of your business? But because you want to handle everything that takes place in your life, you're afraid to give God the opportunity to be God in your life. And he said, I'm trying to stretch you. Behold, I'm trying to do a new thing. Shall you not know it? Now it shall spring forth. Said, I'm trying to do it right now. But because you're such a control freak, because you got to know everything that's going on, because you have to have a part and a piece of this and what I'm doing, so I give it over to you. If you want to be God, if you think you better suited for my position, then you be God.
I hear you, preacher. Well said.
But when it fails or when it don't go your way, don't come blaming me. And a lot of times when things don't happen the way they should, first thing we do is blame God. Well, I thought God said. Well, didn't the prophet tell me? Well, Lord, but what in the world God did? What in the world happened? What did I do? Oh, Lord, there was a lying prophet.
No, sir.
Now the prophet is a liar. Now the pastor don't know what he's talking about. Because you refuse to take the necessary steps. Because you refuse to step out on faith. Because you refuse to trust God. And because you chose to stay in the same place and do the same thing. Now you've missed out on what God has